Jason here. I'm back with another video. I was meaning to do this video a few days ago, but it's been a little weird around here. I live in Minneapolis, if you guys don't know, and I'm sure you guys are aware of kind of the situation here. It's been a little crazy. I live right in South Minneapolis, so there's been, riots and things, protests and things like that. So I actually had to, me and Joni, we left a couple days ago and we went and stayed with her parents for a couple days. But we're back now and we're safe and we're good. But yeah, so it's kind of just put a funk into my schedule. I was trying to get this video done at the end of May, but here we are. So today what I'm going to do is a May reading wrap up, so talking about all the books that I did, and I did one in April as well, and it went pretty well. So I figured I'd just keep doing these every month. Now May, it wasn't a great reading month. I had a lot of stuff going on kind of in the beginning of the month with Mother's Day and work and everything, and then now on this side of May, there's been a lot of just crazy stuff going on, and and I kind of got sucked into this video game that I've been playing a lot of, so that's been taken away from my reading time, so I read 3 books. I listened to 3 audiobooks. I did not finish 1 book, which is weird. I don't normally do that. I rarely do that, and this is a book that I might eventually come back to and finish. It just wasn't engaging. I didn't really want to read it, and there were other things that I wanted to read more, so I just put it aside for now. And like I said, maybe I'll get back to it. But anyway, so let's start with the books that I read, and I did do reviews of a couple of these. So if you haven't watched those, then I'll link them up here and you can check those out if you want. But anyway, first one was I Am Legend and Other Stories. I Am Legend was the main story here. It's good. It was really good. Vampire novel. And again, I did do a review of this, so I will put that up here in the suggestions. But yeah, it's a classic and it's very good. So check out my review. And then the next one is Uzumaki by Junji Ito. This is a manga, and I did a review of this one as well. So again, I'll put that up in the corner. This was my first manga, and I really, really liked it. I'm going to read more of his stuff for sure. Then the next one is the first book in the First Law trilogy. It's called The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. I have not done a review of this book yet. I just finished this maybe a week ago or so, and I liked it a lot. I'm really excited for the next book in the series, because this one felt like a lot of just an introduction, almost. You get to know all the characters, you get to know the world, you get to know how the politics work, you get kind of all these different things, but nothing really happens plot-wise. So it sets all this, it lays all the groundwork, and then I have a feeling that the next book or 2 books are where the story's really going to start moving along. But anyway, I'll save that for the review of this. I am going to do one. So so those were all the physical books that I read. Now I did audiobooks, and if you watch my April reading recap, you'll remember that I usually only listen to audiobooks of books that I've already read, because most of the time when I'm listening to audiobooks and stuff, it's either I'm doing something else, or I'm in the car and I'm driving to work or whatever, and if I get distracted and I zone out or whatever for 5-10 minutes, I don't want to have to go back and re-listen or miss something important. So if I've already read the book, then that's not as big of a factor. So that's why I pretty much only ever listen to books that I've already read as like rereads. So anyway, I do have physical copies of these books, so I'm just going to hold those up, even though I listened to these audio. So, but the first one was Doctor Sleep by Stephen King. This is a great book. I read it, 3 or 4 years ago, and yeah, it was awesome. I watched the movie somewhat recently, and it's really good. It's quite a bit different than the book, but the book is really good. So, yeah, I highly recommend it if you're a Stephen King fan, especially if you read The Shining and liked The Shining, because it's a sequel to that. So Dan Torrance is the main character, and he's an adult in this one. It's very cool. So that one's great. Then Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. This is the third time I've read this, or read through the series. I just started this one. Well, I finished it, but I'm waiting on A Clash of Clans. And so, yeah, every time I read this, it's like I pick up more things, more foreshadowing, and more things that I didn't notice last time. And God, it's just such a good book, and I'm just so anxious and eager for The Winds of Winter. So George, get on it. As far as I know, he's stuck at home, so I hope he's writing, and I hope we get to see The Winds of Winter soon. But yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath. And then the last audiobook that I listened to was another Stephen King novel. It's The Institute, which is one of his newer novels. It just came out, September of last year, I think, and I read it when it came out, and I really enjoyed it. That was great. So yeah, I don't know, it was available on the library app, and so I just got it, and it was fine, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, just as good as I remember it being. So yeah, there's that. Then yeah, so the book that I did not finish is a short story collection, The Minority Report and Other Stories by Philip K. Dick. I really wanted to just kind of power through it, except I don't know. I just wasn't excited to pick it up. It felt like a chore. So eventually I just said I just was like, I'll just set it aside for now. And maybe like I said, maybe I'll pick it up again and finish it up at some point. But I just wanted to read other stuff, and I just wasn't really engaged. So, like I said, I don't DNF books very often, but yeah, and I don't think it's bad. There were some good stories in here, but I don't know. I just it wasn't really doing it for me. So that's that. I did not finish that one. And then, so yeah, that's everything in the month of May. Like I said, it's kind of a light month for me, but that's how it is. So yeah, actually, I'm missing one here. I'm gonna go into the books that I am currently reading and or listening to. So yeah, we'll start with the reading. So this is another short story collection, but this is Stephen King's Nightmares and Dreamscapes. I'm halfway or so through that. These are really good for the most part. There's been maybe one dud so far, but a couple of them have been really, really good. So I am enjoying this. This is something that I will, with short stories, usually what I'll do is I'll read like one, a day, and then I'll go read my novel that I'm currently reading, and then whatever, I'll get through it eventually. But yeah, that one's pretty good. And then the novel I'm reading right now is On the Beach by Nevil Shute. This, I talked a little bit about this in my in that book haul video. I'll link it up here if you are interested. It's just, yeah, I heard about this, sounded really interesting. It's not very long, so I'm just going to kind of plug away on that real quick. But it's really good so far. I'm like 50 pages in. So, yeah. And then the audiobook that I'm currently reading or listening to is another book I've read before. last year, I think. And again, I have the physical copy. I'm going to hold that up, but it is an audiobook that I'm listening to, and it is Inspection by Josh Malerman. And I really, really liked this book. I know a lot of, like, critically, people didn't really like it that much, but I thought it was awesome. And super well done, and it was great. So anyway, I've read a couple of his books, and I like them. They're good. So he's got another book. He's got a sequel to Bird Box coming out, I think, in a couple months. So I'll probably pick that up and read that. So anyway, that's what I'm reading right now. What I plan to read this month, like I was talking about before, I'm probably going to read the second First Law book. It's called Before They Are Hanged, so I'll read that. And then after that, I don't really know. I had that TBR, or sorry, the book haul video that I just put up a little last week or whatever, and there was a bunch of books on there that I'm really interested in. Maybe starting, and but then I also just have like a really huge TBR shelf. There's more fantasy, if I read Before They Are Hanged and I want to move on to the third one. It's called oh god, I can't even remember what the last one's called. Something about kings. But anyway, so depending on if I really really like the second book and I just am like, let's just go, and I go on to the third book right away, maybe. It just depends on how the month goes. So yeah, that's I don't really know yet, but for sure, Before They Are Hanged will probably be the next book I read after I finish On the Beach. So yeah, that's my May wrap up. So yeah, let me know if you have any suggestions for my TBR based on the things that I'm talking about and the other stuff that I talk about on the channel. Let me know if there's something that you think I would enjoy in the comments, and let me know if you like stuff like this. Like and subscribe. Blah 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 blah. The YouTube stuff. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Stay safe, and try to stay healthy, and try to be nice to each other. It's a tough time out there for everybody, so let's just get through this thing, and yeah, we'll get through it. So anyway, peace.